Prominent figures come together at the White House as President Biden hosts a state dinner for the Japanese Prime Minister.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
And outrage from Democrats over the Arizona Supreme Court's abortion ruling leads to shouting at the state house. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Thursday, April 11th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. Today, the White House will be the scene of the first ever trilateral summit between leaders of the United States, Japan, and the Philippines. Last night, the White House hosted a glitzy star-studded event where nearly 230 figures from the worlds of politics, tech, sports, and entertainment joined President Joe Biden as he hosted a state dinner for Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The guest list included Biden family members, former President Bill Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, actor Robert De Niro, Olympic figure skater Christy Yamaguchi, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and Apple CEO Tim Cook. Singer Paul Simon performing for the guests. In a nod to Japanese culture, First Lady Jill Biden transformed the state floor of the White House to resemble a koi pond with cherry blossoms and other flowers filling the East Room. President Biden toasting to America and Japan's alliance and friendship. Prime Minister Kishida referencing the American television show Star Trek in his remarks.
We are now standing at the turning point in history, embarking on a new frontier and elevate this unshakable Japan-U.S. relationship to even greater heights and hand it to the next generation. Finally, let me conclude with the line from Star Trek, which you all know, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
This was the fifth state dinner Biden has held since taking office. Earlier in the day, the two leaders agreed on ways to strengthen the country's military and economic relations amid concerns over China and North Korea. Today, President Biden will meet Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos at the White House before holding the summit with Kishida to show their unity against growing tensions in the Indo-Pacific. 3 victims were injured when gunfire broke out during a celebration in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Wednesday afternoon, marking the end of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. 5 people have been taken into custody, most of them minors. Around 1,000 people gathered at a park when 2 groups of people started to exchange gunfire. Around 30 shots were fired. A 22-year-old man and 15-year-old boy suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. 4 people ranging in age from 15 to 21 carrying weapons were arrested while leaving the park. The Philadelphia police commissioner saying an officer shot a 15-year-old boy in the leg who was armed with a gun. The boy was arrested and taken to the hospital in stable condition.
We know that the majority, 99% of the individuals at this event are good people who wanted to have a good time. And once again, we have young people engaging in gunfire who just really destroyed the sanctity of what happened.
This incident remains under investigation. New details have emerged from ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. Hamas saying they don't have the 40 hostages to release as part of a proposed deal, sparking fears that hostages thought to still be alive may be dead. Negotiators have proposed a deal for a 6-week ceasefire where Hamas would release 40 hostages, including women, older people, and the sick, in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Israel says there are still about 130 hostages being held by the terror group, believing at least 30 of those are dead out of the 240 people who were taken on October 7th.
Shame on you! Shame Shame on you!
Those were the shouts heard at the Arizona State House after Republican lawmakers shut down efforts to advance a bill to repeal the 1864 law that was recently upheld by the state Supreme Court, banning abortion throughout pregnancy except when a woman's life is in danger. Leaders in the GOP majority House cut off any discussion of the proposed repeal after the matter was brought up by House Democrats and at least one Republican. The GOP leaders then adjourned for a week. One Democratic state representative said the state Supreme Court's decision was extreme and will lead to people dying. A Republican lawmaker saying there was no reason to rush into debate, labeling the Democrats' actions on the floor as extremist and insurrectionist behavior. GOP leaders noted the court's ruling has not taken effect yet, and they will be reviewing the decision to determine the legislature's best course of action. House Speaker Mike Johnson will meet with former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Friday, holding a joint press conference on the topic of election integrity. The meeting comes amid internal challenges and controversy over Johnson's leadership, including the handling of Ukraine aid. Johnson's visit signals an attempt to showcase unity with the presumptive GOP presidential nominee, as Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and others question his decision-making. Greene has threatened to force a vote to oust Johnson, the two holding an hour-long meeting on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Johnson faces additional pressure as conservatives, urged by Trump, blocked a foreign intelligence surveillance tool's extension. The proposed bill allows the U.S. government to collect, without a warrant, the communications of non-Americans outside the country for foreign intelligence purposes. Finally, this morning, Wednesday, was National Siblings Day, and a pair of brothers who are Major League Baseball players celebrated the day in a very memorable way. Josh Naylor and his younger brother Bo, both players for the Cleveland Guardians, hitting home runs in their game against the Chicago White Sox. Not only that, they did it in the same inning. Josh hitting a solo shot out of the park in the fourth inning, Bo following that 2 batters later with a 2-run home run. On top of that, the Naylors each got a hit in the 10th inning, leading to the Guardians' 7-6 win over the White Sox. Josh with a game-tying double, and Bo hitting the game-winning single. These are your top stories for this Thursday. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.